I don't know, willfully lying to the American people about the condition of the President of the United States, which went on for 4 years in this country by all of your colleagues.
Totally wrong. That is totally wrong. That is totally wrong.
Scott Jennings just absolutely humiliates a panel full of clueless, woke pundits who have zero clue what they're talking about. These people are twisting themselves in circles trying to defend selective ignorance, blatant hypocrisy, and straight up nonsense. But Scott Jennings, he's having none of it. He's calling out every contradiction, every excuse, and backing them into a corner so bad they're practically sprinting off the show. Let's dive into this debate between Scott Jennings and this entire panel of woke idiots.
The President of the United States has spent his first 2 months in office trying out a new tactic to not answer questions from reporters. The tactic, feign ignorance.
I know nothing about it. I did not. I know nothing about that.
I don't know when it was signed because I didn't sign it.
I don't know anything about Signal. I wasn't involved in this. I wasn't involved with it. I wasn't there.
Nothing classified was shared.
Well, that's what I've heard. I don't know. I'm not sure. You'll have to ask the various people involved. I really don't know.
Have you been briefed about the soldiers in Lithuania who are missing?
No, I haven't.
I don't know.
Wasn't me. He wasn't involved in the Signal thing. He was not involved in it.
But there's a lot of I don't know. There's a lot of I don't know.
Well,
How is he supposed to know about it if he wasn't involved in it?
Seriously, I do think that the fact that the President of the United States was not briefed on 4 missing soldiers, I mean, having been in a White House, that is something you would brief. So I don't know, maybe Mike Waltz was pretty busy those last couple of days, but somebody should have briefed the president on that. I do think it's like just a little odd that he says he doesn't know anything about things that he's actually supposedly signed. Maybe he signed it via AutoPen or something else.
Yeah, see, this is exactly what Scott Jennings is talking about. How are you going to sign something and then pretend you don't know what it is? I mean, come on, man. If the President of the United States is this out of the loop on what he's literally signing, then who is actually running things? Because it sure as hell isn't him. Scott Jennings is dead on when he points out how bizarre this is. Like, either you're lying or you have no control over your own administration. Scott Jennings seems to know what he is talking about.
But he definitely has I mean, he has signed proclamations, and then he says, I don't know anything about that. That is also a serious problem.
I'd rather have him act like he doesn't know about something, which I'm sure he probably does know about some of this stuff, than not talk to the press at all. I mean, he's the most accessible president that I've ever seen in modern history. I mean, your boss never talked to the media ever.
Look, I totally hear the point. People should talk to the press a lot. It's just you're not actually conveying information if you don't know anything about anything going on.
I would rather the president just get on TV and say, I don't know, than as opposed to some of the other stuff that he's said in the past when he's pretended to know. So just say, I don't know.
But maybe he should know some of these things.
Can I just go back, though, from a security perspective? He probably, especially on the soldiers, he probably knows, but by the way, that's still an active national security issue for our military, so he probably can't, I mean, to his defense on that, he probably can't comment on it.
Okay.
Or shouldn't until you have all the facts. I mean, that's the thing about being the president is, when you go talking out of your ass, things happen. And so maybe you shouldn't. I mean, maybe it's
Or
smart.
he could say, presidents, like President Bush or Obama or others would have said, I'm aware, I'm not going to say anymore because it's an active issue. That's what they say. He said, I don't know what you're talking about.
I
That's a different thing.
that he could tell you exactly how many woke professors are in the country, or how many boys is playing girls volleyball, or how many quote-unquote illegal aliens came in yesterday. He focuses on what he wants to focus on, and this ain't one of them.
All good things to know, by the way.
Just saying, he may be making some of that shit up.
So selective ignorance, you're saying?
Selective ignorance. Exactly. Scott Jennings just nailed it. The same people who pretend to be in the know about every social issue suddenly go completely brain dead when it's just something that doesn't fit their narrative. Yeah, that's real convenient. 1 minute, it's all trust the experts. And the next, it's, I don't know. I wasn't there. Scott Jennings is completely exposing this double standard, and they have no comeback except to stutter and deflect. Well said, Scott Jennings. Well said.
I've used it to my advantage many times.
It's just like selective hearing.
The Signal thing is interesting, though, because from the very beginning, his ignorance there seemed to be deliberate. He was not on that signal chain, but the idea that he didn't know about it when he was first asked about it and the extent to which he doesn't know seems rather deliberate. Yes.
He wants to be associated with things that are positive. That's who Donald Trump is. And that's what makes him a communications genius. And I use the word genius when it comes to communication, not public policy or public welfare. But he knows how to communicate. And when it's negative, he's like, what, me? Don't know nothing about that. Let's talk about some tariffs or something that's good for somebody.
Would you, if he didn't know and he didn't have the facts or he hadn't been briefed on it, what is the alternative here? To go out and make something up or to say, I don't know. I haven't been told. And my understanding is he didn't know about it. He wasn't on it. Maybe he wasn't even aware what signal is. I mean, it is not inconceivable that the president, when I didn't see the timestamps on these questions, didn't actually have enough information to comment publicly at the time on any of these matters. It's not out of the ordinary for a president to hold back until they have all the facts or all the things they need to know to make a legitimate comment.
Or what would be more concerning, and I think this might be more concerning with the soldiers, or they're not telling him and they're not actually sharing information, or they worry about what he'll say, so they preserve it. I think this is a deeply kind of disturbing thing on basic information. On some political issue, I totally understand. I can even understand perhaps plausible deniability about Signalgate. But I think on national security issues, like issues where soldiers are possibly lost, it is pretty inexcusable that he has not been briefed and he can't speak to it.
And what's worse, a president not having all the information he needs to make a legitimate comment, so he holds back in the moment before being ready to make a comment, or, I don't know, willfully lying to the American people about the condition of the President of the United States, which went on for 4 years in this country by all of your colleagues.
Totally wrong. That is
totally
wrong. That
What's
is
worse?
totally wrong.
I hope you read all the books that are coming out.
Joe Biden, when asked about soldiers lost, was briefed and said it. And so you think Joe Biden had problems? At least he was able to do that. What's the excuse for Donald Trump if he's so capable?
I'm just saying.
I mean,
you guys
I don't
are
know if you're
upset
a judge.
that
If
Trump
you're a
is
judge,
exhibiting some, I want to get more facts, and I'm going to be lectured by the people who lied to the American people about the condition of the president?
Oh my God!
No way.
No, but
not going to take it.
That's first of all, that's outrageous.
Is
That's
it?
outrageous. Yes, it is.
You
I
think
did
the
not
truth was
lie.
told? You think the truth was told?
I will say.
Did the White
and
House tell the truth?
I will look forward to this discussion.
Do you all believe the truth was told about Biden?
Scott, do you want government or do you want your lick back? Because even if all of that happened in the past, we're in the present now. So we need a president that is capable.
And so what? He
competent.
said, I don't know.
So
what did it hurt your life that he said, I don't know? One time.
Biden did it. Biden did it.
Sure,
Biden
I
did
can.
it. But you
Of
cannot
course I
write
can.
that for 4 years.
I absolutely
and expect
can.
the country to move
I
forward.
100% can.
You cannot.
Biden wrote it for 4 years on Trump, and Obama wrote it for 8 years on George W. Bush. You're damn right. We were right.
It's just a little inconsistent to say it's wrong with one and the other. That's the point.
I'm just saying.
It's just
It
the
seems
point.
like selective outrage to me to say, well, we're worried about Donald Trump not knowing.
I think all of us who've ever met or been around Donald Trump knows that if somebody would have told him soldiers were missing, and if he would have been briefed on that, and then a reporter asked about him, because he does this with every other thing that he does, he'd have went, we're going to find them, we're going to kick whoever's ass is messing with them, and we're going to burn everything down around them if they don't bring them back right now.
Well, then he should have been told.
I mean, Trump.
I'm saying, we know that's how he would respond if he knew about
then
it.
he
And to
should have
that
been
point,
told.
Trump would then start blabbering some of the secrets on the back. We're going to find them. We're going to get them SEAL Team 6s in there right now. They're in a Black Hawk helicopter. It's at 300 feet. It's going in latitude, longitude. And he would say too much. So maybe you can't tell me.
That's a little worse if they're not briefing him because he would spill the beans. Then we're in a.
That's what signals
That's
for.
a little scary.
More like completely insane. Scott Jennings is straight up telling them what everyone else is thinking. If they aren't even telling the president things because they're scared he'll spill the beans, then we have a real problem. Like, what's worse? A president who knows too much and blurts it out, or a president who knows literally nothing and is left completely in the dark? Either way, Scott Jennings is showing exactly how much of a joke this whole situation is. No wonder they can't handle Scoot Jennings. Scott Jennings completely wrecked this panel. He called out their selective ignorance, their hypocrisy, and their total inability to defend the mess they've created. They had no answers, no arguments, and by the end, no dignity left. Scott Jennings just walked all over them and made it clear this nonsense isn't going to fly. If you're tired of fake outrage, double standards, and people making excuses for failure, Scott Jennings just gave them a masterclass in reality.